What's up, everybody? So today I was driving by a boat ramp and I decided just to stop by. Whenever I drive by boat ramps, I always just stop by, check out what's going on. I like watching the boats launch. I like seeing what's going on. And there was this guy. He was launching a 20-foot center console. Looked about. He was with a couple of friends, and they were just having a really hard time with the current. And the back of the boat was like swinging off of the trailer a little bit, and it was like kind of like stuck on top of one of the bunks, and they couldn't get the boat off. I don't know. There was just a bunch of, they were yelling at each other. There was a bunch of tension with them, and they were just having a ton of problems. Now I get it. The boat ramp can be stressful for some people. We have these very expensive toys behind our vehicles. There are long lines, lots of people, wind, current, people arguing and honking, and it's, for some people, they're just not used to it. But over the last several years of owning boats, I feel like I got a pretty good technique down. And even though every trailer is different, every boat is different, every ramp is different, conditions can be different, I just thought I would share tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. And I've always shown it on camera, me launching and loading my boat, because it's always been done so effortlessly, because I feel like I'm just used to it and I know my boat and I just know the techniques that I use work well. So I thought I'd share it with you guys so maybe you guys can use it. Now, you guys might have different techniques, and if you do, like, that's cool. That doesn't mean that they're wrong. These are just the techniques that I've used. So if what you're already doing works for you, then this really isn't the video for you. But maybe by me sharing my tips, my tricks, what I've learned along the way, it will help somebody with their boating experience in the future. So let's get started.
Aside from my soul,
I'm gonna pull random clips from old videos just to give visual examples, but one of the first things we always do when we get to the boat ramp is we pull off to the side somewhere where we aren't in the way of anyone, whether it's an empty boat ramp or a crowded boat ramp, and we prep the boat. We put all the bags in, all the gear in, we remove all the straps, put the plugs in, and we just do this all out of the way of anybody at the boat ramp. After everything is in the boat, I lift the trunk of my SUV up so I get a clear view of my boat. I don't know why some people who back up their boats with SUVs or trucks, they don't lower their tailgate or lift the trunk of their SUV if they don't have a backup camera, and it just kind of makes them blind to their boat. And when that happens, people have the worst backup and they're trying and they can never get the boat straight. So just make sure you have a good view of your boat. Another thing that I do when I'm backing up is I keep the winch of the trailer locked on to the front of the boat. I don't remove that until the boat gets into the water, and that's because you see a lot of people who remove that winch before the boat hits the water while they're going down the ramp or whatever it is that they're doing, and the boat can slide off. Now, I don't think it's gonna happen to my boat, but I just keep it on anyways just to avoid that possibility. When it comes to putting my boat into the water, I always account for two things: the steepness of the ramp and how strong the current is, because when I'm putting my boat into the water, I want the back of the boat to be floating, but I still want the front of the boat to be sitting into the bunks on the trailer. A lot of people make the mistake by backing their boat too far into the water and the whole thing just floats off and it gets kind of messy. When you're too deep into the water, two things can happen. The current can just swing your boat around, like off the trailer, onto the bunk, or even completely off of the trailer and sitting sideways along the ramp. Or your trailer can actually drop off the ramp, which can cause your trailer to get stuck. And if your boat is sitting at that perfect depth to where the back is floating and the front is still into the trailer, it shouldn't go anywhere. Then you have two options. You can either grab the two dock lines on the side of your boat and just pull it right off the trailer. It should slide right off because it is at that perfect depth where it's floating but still connected to the trailer, and then you can just tie it off to the dock. But 99% of the time, I like to just hop in the boat and power load it off and then just pull up to the dock. It's really just personal preference. And that's it. As long as you understand your boat and you're aware of your surroundings and you take a few things into account, Every launch can be as easy as I just explained. Okay, you had a great day on the boat, you just got back to the dock, and now it's time to load the boat. All you have to do is everything we just talked about, but in reverse. When you tie your boat to the dock and go get your car, just make sure you don't back in your trailer too deep. One of the biggest mistakes I see when people are loading their boat is they back in their trailer way too deep. If you go too deep, when you go to hop into your car and pull your boat out of the water, it might not be sitting on the trailer bunks properly. So it might be sitting on top of one bunk and not on the other bunk, or it might start to drift off the trailer completely, and that can just cause a disaster. Once again, you need to take a few things into account. That's tide, current, and the steepness of the ramp. You're definitely going to want to be going against the current. If you're going with the current, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to get onto that trailer properly. When you're going against the current, you have way more control of your boat. Now that the boat is sitting on the trailer straight and properly, and I know it's not going anywhere, I hop off the front of the boat, I winch it completely, I lock the winch, and I get my car and I drive it up the ramp. I always lock the winch before driving it up the ramp and through the parking lot, because you just never know what can happen and you don't want your boat going anywhere. With that winch locked, you know your boat is secured onto your trailer. And that's it. That's my process of launching and loading my boat. Now, some people might do it differently, and that's fine. But hopefully I was able to help someone out today. They were able to take some value from this video, and I'll see you guys next time.